Hey everybody, I'm here today to tell you that working more hours is not the only way to succeed. When I was younger, when I had first started all of the stuff that I'm doing online, I thought that putting in more hours was the only way to go. I would pull 16-hour working shifts with my online stuff, 20-hour days, 22-hour days sometimes. And I thought that working more hours was simply the only way to do it. I thought that it was either put in more hours or fail. It was as simple as that. But then as I grew older and as my online businesses and ventures started to succeed, I started to learn something interesting. I started to learn that working more hours was not the only way. You can work more effectively, because I realized, when I was doing a 20-hour day or a 22-hour day, I would get a lot of work in. I would get a ton of work in. But I would realize that there was probably 2 to 3 hours in that day that I could eliminate doing stuff that didn't matter, stuff that had a very low ROI. Sometimes the ROI, the return on investment with those things within those 2 or 3 hours was zero, was nothing. And I'm like, why am I doing those things? So it's not only about working more hours. Sometimes you can get away with working more effectively. Now, what I've learned is that in order to work more effectively, I had to work many hours for many days. And then that allowed me to see what had the high ROI and what had the low ROI. And then I could eliminate the stuff that had the low ROI and just do more of the stuff that had the high ROI. So what my current situation is as follows, basically. I spend about 10 hours a day, 5 days a week, working super effectively as much as I can, filming as much as I can, doing as much as I can. That's why you see the majority of my videos, a good portion of my videos are filmed in the vehicle, just as you can see right here, because it maximizes my time during my commute. When I'm traveling to or from anywhere, I try to film as much as I possibly can or do as much work as I possibly can, whatever I can do. And that allows me to maximize the time, because what I realized before was that if I was pulling a 20-hour day and I was spending 2 hours driving and I wasn't doing anything during that time driving, those 2 hours were a waste. And instead, if I used those 2 hours effectively, instead of working 20 hours, I could work 18 hours. And if I continue to refine and refine and refine, instead of working 18 hours, I could probably get the same results in only 14 hours. And I've continued doing that until now I can comfortably work 10 hours a day, about 5 days a week, 10 hours a day, Monday to Friday, and I can get the same results as I did when I was working 20 hours a day, 22 hours a day, because I'm learning how to refine things and do more of the high ROI tasks and do fewer of the low ROI tasks. In an average given day, I do virtually nothing that has no ROI and very few things that have a low ROI. With regards to business, with regards to success, and so forth, okay? When you're looking at it strictly from a numbers game, I do very few things that have low ROI and like almost nothing that has no return on investment. Like driving, if I'm driving from point A to point B, it has like a very low ROI. But by doing something while I'm driving, whether that's making some content, whether that's making a call, whether that's contacting people, whether that's brainstorming ideas, it then turns to a high ROI task. And those things that I would have regularly done at another time, I'm doing, while I'm commuting, whether it's on public transit or whether I'm driving or whatever the case is, while I'm commuting, I'm doing those things, and it limits the amount of hours that I have to put in order to get the same results. So I've learned over the years that it's not only about working more hours, and that working more hours is not the only way to achieve success. But I will tell you that if you just start something, whether it's a business or a hobby or a passion, anything that you want to succeed at, if you just start off with that mentality of just, I'm going to work smart, not hard, it's probably not going to work in your favor, because you can't work smart until you know what works for you. And in order to find out what works for you, you need to work hard. In order to find out how to work 10 hours and get the same results as working 20 hours, you have to have worked the 20-hour days in order to know what works for the 20 hours so you can do it in 10 hours. And it's as simple as that. And that's why it's important to know that, because I see so many people starting businesses and trying to start, growing their online profiles, whether it's a YouTube channel or an Instagram account or any social media platform or profile of any sort. I see them trying to do it and they think they're going to work smart and not hard at the beginning. So they pull these 2-hour or 3-hour days, go to business meetings downtown, grab a coffee with friends, thinking that they're going to get the results that another person, that an experienced person gets in 2 to 3 hours, and they don't get it, and they wonder why. Why can't I get the same results that he or she can get when they can get it in 3 hours? And I'm working 3 hours too. Well, the reason is that person who gets those results in 3 hours has probably done many 18-hour days and 20-hour days and probably stayed up till 4 in the morning many times to get the work done in order to learn what works effectively, in order to do those things in only 8 hours or 6 hours or 2 hours. So the point is this: it's not only about working more hours. Working more hours is not the only way to get it done in order to succeed, whatever it is that you want to get done. But in order to get yourself into that position, you have to work more hours. So it's an interesting and ironic thing, and I wanted to make a video about this because whenever I speak to people, they think that, a lot of people think that they're either going to just work smart or they're just going to work hard. But in reality, if you want to succeed, you want to work hard and work smart, because you can do 20-hour days for a month, for a year, for 3 years, but eventually you get tired of it. And it's not only about getting tired and wanting to not wanting to really pull those hours anymore, but it's about spending time, doing things that you love, spending time with your family members, spending time building relationships, spending time on your passions and hobbies and things that are going to motivate you to do better in the long run. So I just wanted to put that out there in this video, just driving home from the gym, and I really wanted to make this video because it's such an interesting and yet an ironic thing. And it's so interesting in the way that it works. You have to put in the hours in order to know how to do without putting in the hours. So it's really cool, and I just wanted to share that with you in this video. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. I'd love to hear what you think. Have you pulled these long shifts with building a brand, building a business, with whatever you're trying to build in your life? Have you pulled these long shifts and have you realized that you can get it done in a shorter period of time? And could you have realized that without pulling these long shifts? That's what I want to know. Let me know down below as a comment, please. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.